Meta ads are still one of the most effective ways to generate leads as a business owner. Yet there are a lot of businesses that are struggling a little more and they're no longer utilizing ads to their advantage.
I think most people haven't kept up with the Andromeda changes. Andromeda is Meta's AI. They've spent billions of dollars on it over the last 2 years so that literally anybody can launch an ad in seconds.
What I find ironic there is that Meta has introduced this to make this easier, yet people are struggling more than ever.
Correct. I think
a lot of leads with a bad offer equals
terrible performance. If you look at really cheap leads, all they do is just cause frustration. Whereas if you've got 4 or 5 leads that are ready to buy and booking phone calls and turning up, I would rather take 4 or 5 leads and just pay more.
People want more money coming in yesterday and they're not looking at how much those clients are worth over an extended period of time. A great campaign can generate $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in LCV.
Very easily, and I think people get stuck to at this kind of $30 mark. You can only spend $30, $40 a day, but if you went and looked at the actual back-end numbers, go and spend $100 a day, $200 a day, because the maths is there, it supports it.
Does the offer matter when it comes to the actual type of service they're offering?
Yes and no. So
Welcome to another episode of Profit Made Simple. Today we have a special guest. We've flown her from all the way over in WA. She's a returning guest, back for a 4th episode.
Wow.
Bec Anderson, nice to see you here again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
I'm thoroughly looking forward to this episode. Our last episode that we did was one of the highest rating of 2025. It was all about meta ads and how to win at meta ads in 2025. Guess what we're covering today?
More meta ads.
More meta ads. Now, that episode was only released 9 months ago, yet so much has changed, hasn't it?
So much has changed. It's a completely different platform till it was back then. Yeah.
Insane how much has developed on the platform, and we're going to unpack it all. In fact, this is a 2-episode series. So episode 1, we're going to be talking a lot about the offer and how important that is. And then we're going to talk a lot about the numbers and all the different components and how can we work them in our favor. Now, we have already said a lot has changed, yet meta ads are still one of the most effective ways, not one of the most effective way to generate leads as a business owner, whether you own a fitness business or another business. Yet there are a lot of businesses in 2026 that are struggling a little more. They're not getting the results they once did, and they're no longer utilizing ads to their advantage. From your perspective, why is that the case?
I think most people haven't kept up with the Andromeda changes over the last 6 to 9 months.
Well, that's a big word. What is Andromeda changes?
So Andromeda is Meta's AI. They've spent billions of dollars on it over the last 2 years. And what they're trying to do is make everything automated so that literally anybody can launch an ad in seconds. Now, it's got its pros and it's got its cons. So I'll unpack those a little bit for you as we go on as well.
Okay. All right. So a big shift, a big change, the introduction of their AI platform has just added a whole bunch of complexity.
A whole new layer. And then if you put that on top of people's creatives and incorrect offers, it just becomes a schmozzle of just bad ads, basically, that are not getting results for people.
What I find ironic there is that you said that Meta has introduced this to make this easier, yet people are struggling more than ever.
Correct. I think with the Andromeda, a lot of the parts that Meta want you to use are just not quite right for fitness business or service-based businesses at the moment. And it's catching lots of people out. It's pushing for really broad targeting. And that doesn't always suit for fitness businesses where we're looking for a certain type of person within our local area.
Okay. We're going to unpack this in a lot of depth and detail. Just quickly, are they still the number one method of generating leads for a fitness business?
Without a doubt, 100%.
How can you say that so confidently?
Because I'm in that platform all day, every day, generating hundreds of leads for our clients who in turn turn that into thousands of dollars worth of revenue every single week.
Yeah, I love hearing some of your case studies where you share how somebody spends $1,000 and ends up with $30,000 worth of business. And that's not an outlier. That's pretty normal.
That's very normal. And that just comes from knowing your numbers and having a really good winning campaign and then a good follow-up system that they execute well.
Okay, well, we're going to break all of that down. And what I want people to imagine, if you're listening, if you're watching this, is a pyramid. And at the base of the pyramid, the most foundational piece of the puzzle is what?
The offer.
Yes. So we get a lot of people come to us and they go, we just want more leads. Just get us 20 leads next week and everything's going to be okay. But a lot of leads with a bad offer equals
terrible performance.
Just a walking disaster,
Just an
right?
absolute nightmare.
Yeah. So let's talk about the offer itself because it is the foundation and a lot of leads don't fix a bad offer.
Correct.
And so whilst they come to you and your expertise on how to generate more leads, quite often we have to start by revising their offer. So let's talk about good versus bad offers and when to use different offers themselves.
Sure.
So let's start with, what are the bad offers that people come to you with?
Free trials for
Yeah.
starters, or very generic offers that aren't targeting a certain person or avatar,
Mhm.
or really just unclear offers. I'm like, what am I getting? So it doesn't transform well from the platform to the prospect. Like, what exactly am I getting?
All right, you've just said three big things. I want to unpack each one of those. So number one is free offers. Now, I don't mind free offers when we're not using paid ads, but why are they such a problem when we're using paid ads?
Couple of different reasons. Firstly, it's going to attract a lower quality lead because we get a lot of tire kickers, we get a lot of gym hoppers, we get people just looking for that next free trial.
Yeah.
But the biggest reason is the cost. So if you give away a free trial on a paid ad, you have to pay for that ad spend, and then it's going to take you a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to actually get your client to then pay. So your revenue is then a lagging metric. It's not great to be able to scale.
Yeah, so I agree on both those fronts. So number one, the quality of the lead will vary greatly. You're just going to get these tire kickers, really low quality bottom feeders on the free offer itself. The second is it may cost us $200 to acquire a new client after they've gone through the trial period. Once we've paid for our ad spend and delivery and everything like that, could be 200, could be 100, could be 300. The net result is that we're cash flow negative.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to digress a little bit here because I know some people are like, never do free offers, but free offers do have a part when you use it with different marketing channels, don't they?
Yeah, I definitely think a free 7-day pass on an organic, or I would use a 7-day pass in a huge facility where I've got a big sales team that can hit the phones hard, that are going to follow up to the nth degree. So they definitely have their place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't ever use them. But if you are a boutique or an independent and cash flow is a little bit tight, then it's not my first go-to.
Yeah. I would agree with that. They definitely play a role. I like them on websites. I like them as reactivations. I like them with organic. We've got some really mega clients with huge gyms with thousands and thousands of client members, and they've got the capacity to be cash flow negative because they have huge coffers of money, so they can do it.
I'd also just keep it to 7 days. So don't go for a free 28-day trial because the lagging there is just huge, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Love that. I love that we've differentiated on that because I know some people are like, no, never do a free trial. Yeah. You have a look at someone like Sam Isle, right?
Yeah.
At FitZone.
Yeah.
He has done a free trial.
Kills it.
And next level growth in our community right now. He went from under 100 members to 300 members. This is in a team training environment as well. These are $60 a week members, and he did it primarily off the back of a 7-day trial. But in most cases, most studios, most boutiques, we want to run a paid trial so we can liquidate the ad spend. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail. But you said two other things. You said the other thing is it's very broad and general. And so it's this offer that is for everybody, but it's for nobody. Is that right?
Yeah, my favorite saying, you try and be everybody's cup of tea and you end up just looking like a mug.
You have the most ridiculous sayings. Just as an aside, if you listen to Bec, it's a comedy show in its own right because she has these, I don't know, they must be English sayings because I haven't heard them before, but I do like that. So we don't want a broad offer.
Absolutely not. It's hard enough on the platform as it is. You really need to know who you're talking to because knowing who you're talking to allows you to solve their pain points in your ad copy and your creatives, therefore gets you a better quality lead.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say the shift in this has been enormous. Generic did get it done 5 years ago, maybe even longer than that. but the more hyper niche and targeted you are with those offers, the better. Yeah, absolutely. And then the third thing you said is that the offers are pretty general. You don't actually know what you're getting. So like, what problem are you solving? How are you actually getting me out of the pain or the problem that I'm in right now? What do I get from a delivery perspective? So they're just unclear.
Yeah, it's just really generic. And if you read ad copy, it's just not, what am I getting in terms of delivery? Am I getting any support? Am I getting an accountability? Am I training on my own? Do I get a program? Is it a team training? So not being clear, like people will opt in, but they're just looking for more info, right? And again, not a great quality of lead.
Okay, so that's bad offers. We need to fix those straight away before we launch any campaign. And it's one of the things, obviously, that we have a lot of experience with. We do it well because we've seen so much of it, but we're a coaching business as well as an agency. On the second part of this is we've talked about bad offers. What makes a really good offer? What are the banger offers where people are absolutely killing the pig? That's a Bec saying.
I'm going to start charging you for stealing my sayings.
In 2026.
So I love a 28-day offer, but it has to be wrapped in a bow that is applicable and suitable to your perfect avatar. So you can wrap it in a over 35 strength program or a master your menopause or a 28-day reset. So it has to talk to the person that you want in your facility, and you have to be able to fix their pain points in that ad copy too.
I really like what you said there. I remember I had a one-on-one call with a guest that's been on this show, Bedros Koulian, and he said that the 28-day experience is always the same. The delivery it's your premium onboarding experience, but you're putting a different wrapper on it. Different lures attract different fish.
Correct. And you can wrap it anywhere you want to attract a variety of people, but the background and the foundation of it is always the same.
Okay. And you like 28. Why 28?
I think it's a nice sweet spot in terms of being able to get people ingrained in your culture. I think people can really get some good results in 28 days, but it's not scary enough for them to be like, oh, don't want to commit to 12, 16, 20 weeks straight up. It's just enough time for them to dip their toe, enjoy it, and then convert into a full-time client.
Yeah, I mean, we call these LBEs. What does an LBE stand for, and what is an LBE?
An LBE, low barrier to entry offer, and it generally means low barrier in terms of time and money. So I don't know about the money part because I always encourage our clients to price their LBE at the equivalent of what 28 days of training in their facility would actually look like, because then you don't get any discrepancies on the back end. It's easier to just continue to sell them. You don't have to drop sell, and you don't have to say, look, it was $20 a week for the first 4 weeks. Now it's $65. That's a big upsell for people.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's been even an evolution in the LBE offer where now the low barrier is just the time. Yeah, because people are cynical. They don't trust you yet. And it helps them have enough of amount of time to go, hey, they are the real deal. They actually do what they said they can do. I love the community. I love the results. I love the vibe. And I want to be part of this for a longer period of time.
Yeah, we're in that trust recession, right? We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
So 28 days is just that real sweet spot to get people ingrained.
And a term that I use a lot is liquidate your marketing. What is that?
So if you spend, say, for example, $30 a day, $210 a week on your Facebook ads, and you sell one 28-day program for $249, you have liquidated your ad spend on the front end, which is fantastic, and you've even made a little bit of profit. So when we come to talk about scaling ads, if you can sell 2 people a week at $249, you then have an extra $249 next week to reinvest back into your ads. You can spend $500. And that is how the biggest successful gyms scale quickly.
Yeah, it's such an advantage if you can have a self-liquidating offer or even money on the front end, because there's a saying in marketing that I love, and that is, who wins in marketing?
The person that can spend the most.
The person that can spend the most money. And so now, if the person down the street is charging $14 for 14 days, or they're doing a free 7 days, and I'm charging $300, $400, $500, $600 on the front end, I just take that money, keep putting it back into marketing, and I can absolutely crush them because I can outspend them.
Outspend, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so self-liquidating offers, very important. Now, let's talk about the different types of gyms and studios, because we have a huge variety. We have people in the martial arts space, we have boutique studios, we have Pilates, we have yoga, we have big commercial gyms, we have people doing one-on-one, people doing semi-private, people doing team training. Does the offer matter when it comes to the actual type of service they're offering?
Yes and no. So if you take a Pilates studio, for example, Pilates, for some reason, has been conditioned for upfront packs. And this started years ago, and all of the Pilates studios that come to us, they were like, okay, 5 sessions for $50 is our front end pack. That's great. They sell very, very well. But I often see them then having a struggle to get them onto memberships. People just want to buy these reoccurring packs. So that's a bit of a battle. If we're talking about independent studios, boutiques, always an LBE, always a reasonably low barrier, 28 days. And if we're talking one-on-one personal studios or someone really boutique, I don't mind a little bit more of an expensive upfront and a little bit more money to acquire that client, because generally they're going to have a better lifetime client value.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking about some numbers now and some big terms. So that's a nice transition point, because there are some really key numbers that we have to know to make all the mechanics of a great winning campaign just work. So let's start. The first one is cost per lead, CPL. I believe it's the one that people are fixated on the most.
Such a vanity metric, though.
So what do you mean by that? So we know that the client, because we have a lot of clients, and they're fixated on CPL. Bec, I used to get, right? It's like, well, I used to get petrol for, under $1, right? So I used to get leads at $10 and now my leads are at $20, right? And you're never worried about this. You're never concerned about it. Why is that the case?
Because the actual number that we are chasing is cost to acquire a client, or your CAC, and then how that relates to your lifetime client value, your LCV.
Okay, so let's just slow down a little bit. All right. So cost per lead, just what is it?
It's literally how much a lead costs to opt in, name, email, phone number.
Yeah. Is it important?
It is to a certain degree. You're looking around $30 to $35 per lead in a metro area. Sydney CBD, you'd be looking 40 to 45 realistically.
And that's for a good quality lead.
And that's for a good quality lead. Regional, or if you're lucky enough to live in New Zealand, $20 and under.
Oh, not even.
That's been generous, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the cost per lead is one of the components, but then that's not the most important component. The most important is something that you mentioned, CAC, cost to acquire a client. And so what is that?
So if, for example, I spend my $210 and get 5 leads, then it's roughly, $30, $45 per lead. Yeah. If I sell one of those people, it has cost me $210 to acquire that client. However, if that client then stays with me for 2 years and is worth $6,000, I'm very comfortable to spend a couple of $100 to acquire them.
Yeah, so there is this real relationship between CPL and CAC. It obviously influences it. But this is where you've got to know what you're looking at, right? Because not all ads are equal, not all campaigns are equal. So I can go, here's $200 and get 20 $10 leads. Only they're really bad leads. It's a really bad offer, very general. And I might convert 1 out of those 20. So I'm converting at 5%. My CAC is $200. With that $200, I could go, I want really good quality leads. So I only get 4 leads this time, but at $50. But I convert 2 out of those. My CAC is at $100, yet my CPL was 5 times more.
It's insane. And I think if you look at really low cost, cheap leads, all they do is just cause frustration. So if you've got a sales team and they're following up these 10, 15 leads multiple times a day, it's time wasting, it's frustrating. Whereas if you've got 4 or 5 leads that are ready to buy and booking phone calls and turning up, I would rather take 4 or 5 leads and just pay more.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I like it on a number of fronts. I've definitely moved more and more and more towards just let's get lots of really good quality leads. We're going to pay more because we're going to add a lot more friction to the sales process, and we'll talk about that, or the marketing process. But if you have a lot of bad quality leads, people out of area, people that were never going to buy, lots of pensioners, just people that aren't even in your target market, then what it does is it actually demotivates your team.
And this is where people get really frustrated, right? They're like, Facebook ads don't work for me, or no one wants to buy, or nobody wants to answer the phone, or I'm getting 90-year-old ladies opt into my strength program. It just causes more frustration that really needs to be there.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress on your people. It's a lot of stress on your systems.
Yeah.
So you've got to understand the relationship between CPL and CAC. And we've just explained both there. So that's really important. Now, you kept going to another term. What was it?
Lifetime client value.
Okay, so what is that?
That is the length of time or the amount of money that somebody pays you over the lifetime of their membership with you.
Okay, so it's how much a client is worth, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, now why is that important?
Because if you know that somebody is going to spend $5,000 with you over 2 years, you can then reverse engineer that and determine how much you actually prepared to spend to get that client.
And how do you work that out?
That's a great question. What sum have you got for this?
Look, I mean, very, very roughly is a 3-to-1 ratio is you can never go under a 3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
So if a client is worth $3,000 on an LCV, you don't want to spend more than $1,000 because you need margin, you need to deliver the product, you need to pay your team and everything else. So what we're looking for is at least a minimum, an absolute bare ass minimum of a 3-to-1. But in a lot of cases, our clients hold on to clients for a really long period of time because we teach them such good retention. And so they're well beyond industry standards in terms of their LCV. They're generally worth thousands of dollars. Yeah. So when you look at it, if your clients are worth even conservatively $2,000, which is really conservative in our community, a client is worth $2,000. Our CAC very rarely gets above $300.
Winning.
We're almost at 7-to-1.
Yeah, it's great. But I think a lot of people's where they fall down is they don't know those numbers. And if you go back and look at your last 10 cancellations within a club, you can quite accurately work out what your average lifetime client value is. And very, very few people do that.
Yeah. And this is where it goes from being really logical.
Yeah. To emotional.
Bec, my ads aren't working. Well, let's have a look at your numbers.
And that's one of the things that stands us out from everybody else is we track these numbers for people because you have to know where everything stands in the full funnel from, how many people do you speak to on the phone, to how many people do you get to a trial, to how many people do you convert, to how long do they stay with you, to how much are they worth. And then you can go back and look, that was a really successful campaign. I got 5 people 6 months ago. They're all still with me. They've all spent $1,500. Great. And that's where these big numbers come from. But you have to know each step of the way.
Yeah. And that's what we're going through right now. But it's a really important point that I just want to emphasize is meta ads, it is a numbers game.
Yeah.
And we have all these levers. So we have CPL, we have CAC, we have LCV. We then have our lead to trial conversion. We then have our trial to member conversion. So these are all the levers that we have to pull. We have 5 different levers that we can pull to get the numbers in our favor and to really make these campaigns print a lot of money for us. But if we don't know those numbers, then we ride the wave. And some weeks, particularly with doing this podcast in late March 2026, Meta's been all over the place. It's been AWOL, right?
Like a mad woman's shit. There's
It
another
is.
Bec special for you.
It's been up and down. And so you ride this roller coaster going, they don't work because my leads have gone from $40 to $80. You're not looking at the full context. You're not looking at the full picture.
Yeah. And people get, I don't know if it's a money mindset, but they get so emotional. The fact that, they spent $200-$300 in the week for 1 lead or 2 leads. It's great. Follow up with that lead and sell it, then we're having a very different conversation.
That's exactly right. You just can't ride every single lead, every campaign. You've got to zoom out and you've got to look at the bigger picture on this. I think also a lot of the time, at least this is one of my observations, is that people want new clients yesterday. They want more money coming in yesterday, and they're not looking at how much those clients are worth over an extended period of time. A great campaign can generate $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in LCV.
Easily, very easily. And I think people get stuck at this kind of $30 mark, right? They are I can only spend $30, $40 a day. But if you went and looked at the actual back end numbers, go and spend $100 a day, $200 a day, because the maths is there. It supports it.
Yeah. All right. So we're going through the numbers right now. We've done CPL, we've done CAC, we've done LCV. Now we've got these leads coming in. and we want to convert them to our LBE, our low barrier entry product, our paid front end offer. And it's very important that we obviously convert at a higher percentage of those leads to that trial member. So what are some of the really important things that we can control to get a better conversion on this?
The first one is your follow-up. And people simply just do not follow up enough. I had many conversations where people are like, yeah, I called them 2 or 3 times and then gave up. I'm like, you should be calling 2 or 3 times in the first day. Never mind anything else. So the first one is your follow-up system. Like, you have to be ruthless. 9 points of contact minimum in the first 3 days, and then another 8 points in the next 4 days after that.
Yeah. And again, it's one of the things that differentiates us is even if you use our agency business, what do they have to do before they get a ad live?
Go through all of our sales and follow-up training. It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just leaving money on the table. I'll put leads in your inbox, but if they're just sitting there doing nothing, then you're kind of just throwing your money away.
Absolutely. So the first is the follow-up system. So obviously 2 principles. We've talked a lot about them on this podcast in previous episodes, but it's speed to lead or recency. So you've got to get to that lead within the first couple of minutes. You're 21 times less effective if you take over 30 minutes. This is where the automation side comes in. It's not a nicety, it's a necessity. I believe it's a non-negotiable on that. And then the second is the frequency. We need to follow up on a regular basis. And there's generally a mindset that people have around this is like,
I'm bothering people.
I'm bothering people.
I don't want to hound people.
Yeah, exactly right.
And that's really frustrating because people have gone through your lead form, they've answered questions, they've opted in. They are literally putting their hands up for help. I believe as a fitness professional, it is your moral obligation to reach out and actually help them.
They're not cold leads. They said, hey, help me over here.
We're not opening the yellow pages here and just dialing people.
No. What's the yellow pages?
Showing my age.
So exactly right. These people have said, help me. Like, I need help. So we need to give them the appropriate help at that point in time. So what are we aiming for when it comes to a conversion of prospect to client?
Look, if you can get 25%, that's amazing. Reality is it's like 15%, 1 in 7 or 8 is actually going to convert.
Yeah, and the numbers still work on that side. I mean, we have clients all the way up to 50% on their conversions. But there's a lot of things they do. Number one, they have less leads and they just audition the lead more.
Better quality.
Better quality. So lots of questions on the lead forms and one-time passwords and all the things we'll dive into. Second is their systems are dialed in.
Yeah, and it's a great mixture of automation and those personalized touch points as well.
Yeah. So now I've got this trial. Let's just say I've converted at 20%. Okay. So the numbers work really well. They work fantastically well at 20%. I pay $40 a lead. So I get 10 leads. I spend $400 on those. At 20%, I get two people on my trial. I've spent $400. I sell a trial, 28-day trial. How much am I selling that for?
$249.
$249. So I'm actually $100 on the front end. I'm $98 on the front end.
Beautiful.
I'm doing maths on the fly here. So I've got $98 on the front end. I've liquidated my marketing. I've got these 2 people on trial. Now this is a very important point because I've got these people on trial. Now the industry average of trial to member is 50%. Where do our guys convert?
90%.
Yeah.
75 minimum, 90% is the golden standard.
It is. So how are we getting these numbers, which are so far above the industry average? What kind of things are they doing in that trial period, that 28-day period, that enable them to be successful?
You literally have to roll out the red carpet treatment for these people. So you need them ingrained in your facility. You need to be following up after the first session, after the first week, personal touch points mixed with automation touch points. If you haven't got that person sold by the end of week 3 at the latest, then we're leaving it a little bit short.
I completely agree. So now we've taken these 2 trials. We've done a really good job. Both of them end up becoming members. And then the last one is LCV. So how do I increase my LCV? How do I get that point into the thousands of dollars? Just so people are aware, a normal team training gym, standard within the industry is about 9 months. That's how long clients stay. How do our guys get them staying for 18 months, 2 years on average?
Great retention pieces. So you have to have them as part of your community. as part of events that you're doing, but you can also increase the value of the client throughout that time period as well with additional profit layers.
All right, so we've gone through all the key numbers and the offer. That's the foundation. That's how we optimize a great campaign. So as I said at the beginning of this episode, this is a 2-part series. Number 1 is about that foundation. We're going to come back. Episode 2 will be all about the things we actually do with our creative. How do we optimize the Andromeda changes and AI and everything else so we work the platform in our favor? Thank you so much for watching and listening to today's episode. Thank you, Bec. It's been great to have you back. Looking forward to part 2. If you got value from this, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much.